So yeah, man. Again, I know I'm like a couple weeks late, but I did watch the Scum game. Yeah, I saw that. Will I've been watching the pods. Um, I did watch the Scum game, and I'm salty I didn't get a chance to talk about it closer to the game because it was a couple weeks, and it's like kind of passes by a little bit. But I rewatched that entire game. Um, Took notes and just broke down what I saw. And I'm not going to go deeply into it because, like I said, it's been a couple weeks. But what up, Mateo? But without trying to open up no wounds, that was a team loss, y'all. It was a team loss. It was put it like this. I'll say it like this: stepping out of the emotion and frustration and pain of losing to your rival. Um, if I was on the outside looking in, I would walk away as a college football fan saying, "Yo, that was a good game. Two really good teams, and one team made less mistakes, and they won at the crib." That's a very, very summarized version of what I can say about the game. Now, from our standpoint, it's supremely frustrating, to lose a game like that. What's up, Terry? Hey, I appreciate y'all day ones and regulars, man. I really do. Much love for y'all. Really appreciate you following my page and hopping on with me. I don't ever want to take that for granted. So thank you. But yeah, so I know some people wanted to you just got tickets for the game next year. Nice, nice. I still listen. Confession, I still haven't been to a Ohio State Scum game yet. I haven't done it. It's on my bucket list. Maybe I'll do that next year. What's up, Jesse Todd? What's up, brother? Maybe I'll do that next year. But getting back to what I was saying, I know we want to, after a tough loss, especially against them dudes, we're emotional and frustrated. We just want to point the finger and everybody. There was mistakes across the board. And I'm just going to quickly skim over this. Like I said, I took a ton of notes, man. I watched this game thoroughly to see what really happened. And that first interception Kyle threw was on him. That was a simple RPO read. He could have handed it off to Henderson or looked for the slant. Will Johnson jumped the slant early. So he should have never threw that ball. I understand he predetermined he was going to Marv, which is fine. But once you see that the corner jumped that route as early as he did, you gotta abandon that and take off and run. There were only really two reads on that play. The second interception was not on him. Donovan Jackson got blown up. I know Kirk also said he looks like he got tripped up, but from what I saw, he was blown up first, which caused him to trip over the lineman, and then Kyle got sacked. Marv was wide open on that interception, y'all. If you watch the all-22 angle behind the line of scrimmage, you can see him coming wide open. The safety who ended up picking it off was being ran off by Ibuka on a post route, which is by design, to clear that out. If Kyle has a half a second more, that's a completion first down at the 20-yard line with 30 seconds to go. Heartbreaking, because we had a chance to win that game still, in that game. And of course, mistakes early in the game. Sonny Styles, didn't play his best, got out of his gaps. You can't do that against Scum. They're going to kill you. Their offense is predicated not just upon physicality, but gap soundness. I've said this for how long have y'all heard me say this? Gap sound, gap sound, gap sound. And they will, once you get out of line, they're going to get you. And that's what happened. You can't do that against them in a close game. And also the key thing about Kyle's first interception was critical is we got behind the 8-ball. Our defense was playing so well, y'all. Stuffing the run, had JJ in check. You can't hand them free points. The key is to not allow them to get ahead. If you get ahead against them with a good defense, it's a wrap. No one's been able to do that this year because of partly their competition, but also our mistake we made in that first interception. You have to understand how critical that was. Now, that wasn't the only reason why we lost, but in my opinion, it got us behind the 8-ball. And then the other mistakes that happened, we just couldn't overcome them because Michigan didn't make, Scum didn't make, the mistakes we made. And I'm probably forgetting stuff off the top of the head, but just letting y'all know, a close game against the number one team in the country now by 6 on the road. Listen, it sucks because it's our rival and we hate them 3 years in a row. but fans act like we just got destroyed, and it was a total team loss, y'all. It wasn't just on Kyle. It wasn't just O-line. It wasn't just Ryan Day. We just came up short, made too many mistakes, didn't execute in the right moments, period. And they won. They're a good team. They have good players. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think there's too many great teams this year, but they're a good team, and they were at home. And so you can't do that. So anyway, we can move on. So let me see. Let me catch up with y'all's comments. Tony, the missed field goal at the end of the first half hurt us a lot. The first interception gave them too good a field position. Absolutely. The missed field goal. And I know I wasn't crazy about Ryan Day not going for it. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I'm trying to put myself in the coach's shoes. And, you know, it's just tough. It's tough. I understood what he was trying to do. In hindsight, I think it's just hard because you play that hindsight game where you make a tough call. And it's like, okay, dang, I should have did this. But if it works out, then you're fine. Wish he would have went for it. But it's crazy because he got iced. The kicker got iced. He had plenty of leg on that field goal. It went right through the uprights with plenty of leg, but he got iced. That's why you iced the kicker, and then he misses the actual real one. But anyway, it's what it is. Let me see real quick. McCord was horrible after the first read this past season. Yeah, and here's the other thing. I said this a while ago, man. But here's the reality. The reality is this: Kyle McCord is not on the level of talent of the guys that we've just had. But I do not believe, after watching games over and over again, watching him play, watching not just his bad plays, but also his good plays, he's not Joe Bauserman either. He's not a terrible QB. He has talent. But his lack of experience and his mistakes as he was learning this year, it just wasn't good enough. It wasn't the standard that we needed. And that's just what it is. And so, you know, we've been so used to first round out the gate talent, and he just wasn't that. He needed another year of development to be at that level. And so he wasn't really willing to take the risk, and we can get into the portal. He wasn't willing to take the risk of basically not being guaranteed the starting spot, because Day's like, nah, like, I think you did some good things this year, son, but you're going to have to compete again because you didn't do enough to make me solidify that. So he banged out. Him and his pops made a business decision. You know, people want to run him down and say what they want to say. Look, this is the new world we're in, whatever. You know, that's your decision. Now we got to make our decision. But, you know, it's what it is, man. It's what it is. And I'm gonna get into the portal stuff in a second, but let me move a little quicker. I'm sorry. I'm a little too thorough at times. Let me see. Them tripping each other is a freak thing. Yeah, it is. But Mateo, man, like I don't think he would have got tripped up if he wouldn't have got blown up. Like, I rewatched that play so many times. And Donovan Jackson, if I was Justin Fry, which I'm not, I'm sure he's telling Donovan, see, this is the technique. This is why the technique matters. This is why your technique matters. Because that guy was smaller than Donovan. He shouldn't be getting blown up and bull rushed by a smaller guy like that. So was his feet right? You know, something wasn't right. So that's a coaching point right there, but unfortunately it killed us. Let me skip down here. They are a good team. Jeff Dorn at Hurst City also put your comment on the screen. Also, coach team there, guys, never look confused. George Giles, got to give him that. Yeah, man. I'm with you on that. Bro. All right, let me see. What else we got here. His body language is not good during the games. Yeah. I've said this before too, man. Anybody who's played ball with me, football, basketball, I'm very vocal. I'm very fired up. I'm very, just body, energy guy, whatever. But at the end of the day, what I want is production. I want production and I want execution. Because everybody doesn't have the same temperament and personality. I understand that. There's others who lead different ways. But I need you to produce regardless of your body language. So, I like my QB to look a little more, confident and more fiery. But to me, that's not really the highest thing on the totem pole for me. Let me see. Brian Myers, good point about the defense, gap discipline. Yeah, yep, killed Penn State as well. That I've been saying this, like even last year when people, well, you got blown off the ball and out physical. No, we really didn't. We didn't. Guys got out of their gaps. We got too aggressive in moments. You blow an assignment, it's a wrap. And when you get too aggressive, I've been saying that to y'all. That's what they do. And so, you know, William Sloan, any truth to these Hartline violations? I've heard the site that is spreading rumors of FSU fans. So yeah, man, listen, I saw that. So basically, here's the bottom line. Let's cut through the old crap cake, as they would say. I forget what movie I got that quote from. I think it was something about Mary. Yeah, that was it. But listen, there was definitely Florida State fans, reporting it. Look, man, they're butthurt. They're desperate. They're salty right now because they just knew that they were going to flip him months ago, right? I mean, they were just so confident we're going to flip him. Listen, y'all, Florida State is paying him to visit. They've been paying him. Other schools are paying, like the Miamis. Them schools pay these boys to go there. Jeremiah Smith, he could very well flip on us in the 11th hour, but he's been very consistent. He's been saying this whole time, as long as Ryan Day and Hartline are at Ohio State, I'm going there because that is my best path to the NFL. Clearly, you see the track record. And so he said, I'm going to take visits. I'm going to enjoy the process. In the meantime, that's exactly what he's done. He's done a little bit of trolling too. He's trolled a little bit. He's very active on Twitter, on X. Anybody who's out there can see. And so I know people get bent out of shape, but I'm not going to do it. If you're going to leave, we had plenty of Southern guys bounce on us. I'm not about to lose sleep over that. But with that said, I'm not convinced he's flipping. And so, and then on top of that, you got Maserati Marv winning the Biletnikoff, which he should have won last year. Should be back-to-back Biletnikoff winner. And this cat is in New York tonight, getting highlighted for the Heisman ceremony with Brian Hartline. I'm sure Hartline is there and Day is there. What better publicity and love and what's the word I'm looking for? Promotion you can get for your program than that. The Biletnikoff and the Heisman ceremony. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, like it's there. And look, he's starting next year. Jeremiah Smith, hear me. If y'all have not seen his film, if y'all have not seen this dude, go to YouTube after this video and watch him. He is an animal. He's the first wide receiver to ever be ranked #1 overall player in 247 history. Like, he's a dog. So he will start next year. He knows that. He knows the path is there. He knows the coaching is there. It's just, you know what I mean? So to me, I'm like, let him go visit, take that bag. Florida State wants to throw him, and then sign with us on signing day. We'll see. Appreciate you, Jay. Appreciate you, man. Let me see. You're fair and honest. I'm proud to be a Moses. Yes, Team Moses. I don't see too many Moseses outside of my Bible. Let me see. Yeah, JD, Coach Day has always been about competing for a starting position. Yeah, he has. That's been consistent. Unless you're just flat out like, no question, you the guy. And Kyle, he did better than some of y'all said he did this year. But he also didn't do good enough to say, I'm the guy for sure without competing. You know what I mean? And so you want to bang out? Bang out. All right. Can we get rid of the pregame circle dancing and twerking? It looks soft. Just focus on the game. I'm glad you brought that up, Steve. Look, I don't like it. I never really liked it. I don't like the dances the players do today. It's just I'm not feeling these dances. They a little too moist for me. I ain't feeling them. With that said, they've been dancing. They've been dancing for years like that before the game. They've been dancing like that in the locker room, Justin Fields and beyond. And so, to me, that's not the reason why we've lost games and all other stuff, but it's just annoying. I don't like it, but whatever. Let me see. Yeah, Terrence. Ransom injury. I agree. Ransom improved greatly this year. He was on my hit list last year. Like, I was not feeling that cat. He had a permanent side eye for me, but he looked much better. He was physical, tough, smarter. We really needed him against Scum against the run. We really did. And then that would have freed Sonny up to freelance a little more, which is really what he's great at. So that loss was a little underrated. I agree with you, Terrence. Oh, let me address this Richie Peppers. Good Lord. And listen, man, this is not against you. But look, man, look. This is what I'm about. All right. I'm not, even if I don't care for a player, I'm not feeling them. I don't really like them like that. Really, that's not usually the case because it's not that deep most of the time because some of them are annoying. But Kyle McCord did not say this is just another game. He did not say that. Please go watch the entire interview. Listen, you can hate the dude. You can say he's trash. He's Bowserman. You can say whatever you want. All right. But at least get it right when it comes to representing people and what they say. That's a pet peeve of mine. Misrepresentation, slander, all that stuff to me it grinds my gears. I listened to the entire interview. They took a 10-second clip where he was saying at the end of the day, it's a game. And basically what he was saying is, in that moment, is that because listen, you also have to remember the reporters are asking them questions and they're responding specifically to the question. He was talking about not being so emotional because it's a big game, because it's the biggest rivalry, because I grew up dreaming about this game, because it's an honor to play in this game. He said a bunch of praise-worthy stuff about the game. Go watch the interview if you care enough. He praised the game. He talked about how big it was. He didn't downplay the game. He didn't just say it was just another game. That's not what happened. That annoys me, man, because it's just like that. It goes around as if it's fact, and it's a misrepresentation of that young man. It's not fair. All he was saying is, in response to the reporter, is, yo, even with all that said, at the end of the day, it's a game. It's just a game. You can't get so caught up in the emotion of it that you don't execute your assignment, which is 1,000% fact and true. You feel me? There's a balance with all of that. So listen, people are going to say what they want to say, but again, go watch the interview. And I would be very surprised if you walked away from that interview thinking that he actually thought it was just another game and it didn't matter that much. So off my soapbox. Abuka is returning. Do I think Abuka is returning? I don't know. Let me get on the portal and the returners and leavers and all the other stuff. So I know there's some frustration right now because, we lost more guys than we've ever lost in the portal. And then on the flip side, there hasn't been any announcements of who's coming back. It's just like kind of in limbo. We're kind of waiting in limbo. Like, are we doing something? Are we actually going after guys? What's happening? Then you got Scum fans trolling. Oh, the rats are jumping the ship and Ohio State's in trouble. I mean, first of all, listen, man, listen. Nobody who's left in the portal yet, to me, and if you trust my word, if you appreciate my insight, my thoughts, I'm gonna give it to you straight. If I feel like there's something wrong or going on, I'm gonna tell you. Nobody in the portal really surprised me, except for a couple people like Chip Trainum. I thought he might have stayed another year, but wake me up when we lose Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, somebody like that in the portal. That's when my eyebrows are going to be raised. We lost a lot of depth guys. We lost guys who were trying to climb up the depth chart, and they felt like they can go get NIL bread at another school and start. We have to realize this is not our daddy's Big Ten. I'm sorry, not Big Ten, NCAA and Big Ten for that matter. We have to come to grips with that, y'all. Like it's challenging because it's hard to understand the world we're living in now. Like this NIL and portal, it's a game changer. So we have to understand that when we're making our judgments about what's going on in this program. We got to step back and assess differently, man. So these kids got agents, you got schools tampering. You know, it's like, oh, I got 200 grand for you right now to come here and you can start, as opposed to challenging for that spot next year. Like, I'm all for kids getting properly compensated. But I said this before, but there has to be a balance. And I'm hoping balance comes in. I'm hoping the reins are pulled back a little bit with this, because it's a little too crazy, but we got to adjust, and we will. So with that said, we got cats that are seriously considering coming back. And I know some people, let's talk about Trey Henderson, for example. Nothing's official yet. But I know people are like, hey, man, that's stupid for him to leave. He should go. Like, low mileage on high mileage on running backs is bad, whatever. The difference is we have NIL now. If his draft grade comes back to where he's not satisfied, then he could fall back on a nice NIL deal, try to stay healthy for the entire year next year, and bet on himself and get to that first round grade. Now, I heard he got back a 4th round grade. If that's true, that's below his potential, in my opinion. I think he's a elite, and no lower than the 2nd round back with his talent. Also, I know people are going to say he's injury prone, and listen, that's fair. But don't forget, this year, the reason why he was out the games because he was cheap shotted at Notre Dame and his ribs were broke. So a cheap shot took him out this year, not just a regular injury. So that's something else to consider. So NIL is a game changer where some of these kids are actually thinking about coming back and weighing their options based on what they're hearing back from the draft. Let me look at these comments real quick. All right. Okay. Ryan Hayden, what's up, brother? You don't look familiar, so welcome. I appreciate you making a comment, man. Let me address that in a second. Okay, Richie Peppers. Yes, he did, and I've watched it. That's what he said, and this isn't slandering him. You and I can have different opinions on how we took it. So, Richie, let me clarify. And I apologize if that came off if I was saying you were slandering him. And even before I made the comment, I said I'm not attacking you. I believe I said that. The problem is I've been dealing with this topic with other people on social media, Twitter, stuff like that. So there have been others who absolutely have been slandering him. And so I'm talking more in general to the people I've dealt with in different platforms, not you. So forgive me if that came off as me coming at you. We absolutely can have different opinions, but I'm telling you what I heard and what I saw in the interview. And if you take everything in totality of what he said, I feel like it's difficult to walk away to say, oh yeah, he thinks it's just another game. It doesn't matter. I don't agree with that at all, but we can disagree. That's cool. All right. So what quarterback do you think will be coming in? So Ryan, look, man, this has been frustrating because listen, man, the information on this has been ridiculously bad. And it's like 1 minute you hear, oh, this player has been contacted. Then the next thing you hear, well, such and such from 247 Sports says they've never been contacted. Nevada has touched on this, and he's absolutely correct. Agents and like people who represent the kid or the coaches of the school, they're the ones who are doing the discussions. So you got that element. So yes, you got plausible deniability and all that other stuff. We get it. So nobody truly knows at this point who's talking to who leads who, unless the kid actually comes out and says something. So that's the challenge. Obviously, Cam Ward is the hot name, but we've had such back and forth with if we've actually reached out to him or not. You know what I mean? Every other day it's, Ohio State leads. They reached out to him or they haven't reached out to him. It's like, come on, man. What's really going on? But this is a very challenging position because you got Devin, you got Lincoln, you got Nolan coming in, obviously. You don't want to bring in a Dante Moore because he's a young guy. And yes, he would probably blow up that room because of his eligibility. It makes more sense to bring in a 1 year guy, 1 or 2 year guy, or a guy who's most likely to leave next year to keep that room intact. You got Devin Brown burning boats and all that. He's all in. I heard they threw him some bread to stay. Makes sense, NIL. So this is you got to bring the right player in, not just for your system, but for the situation. Listen, my ears to the street. I've been trying to get as much info as possible. Even Nevada said last night that this is just all over the place. So we got to wait and see, man. I know Riley Leonard is a hot name from Duke. Some people like him, some people don't. I was impressed by him when I saw him play. I need to watch him a little bit more, but I don't know, man. We just need to get this right. And I'm hoping Devin can step up. And I know they love Lincoln Kinghoes, but we got to get this right. But this notion for some people who think we're just not doing anything, we're just sitting back on our hands, I don't agree with that. They're evaluating, assessing, discussing, negotiating, all that stuff is happening. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. When does the portal close? You know what? I don't know the exact date, but they still got time. There's still time for more people to leave. I believe, I don't know if I think it closes at some point and then opens back up. But I don't know all those dates exactly. Let me see. The real issue, Charles Burr, is us being way over scholarships due to COVID. Yeah, that has something to do with it. I mean, yeah, that's definitely a part of it. I think so. Yeah, exactly, Brian Myers. Alabama had 23 players. Yeah, and then somebody posted the past few years of players leaving and the high numbers in comparison. Listen, man, you got what's up, Jerry Keith? Scum fans, and haters are going to pile on. They're going to try to posture and troll and project, and you guys are going down and oh my God, panic. No, there's no need to panic. It's called the transfer portal. You look at who you lost, and then you look at the potential of who you can bring in. Look at our track record. Look who we've already brought in over the years. We've done pretty darn good in the portal. So, yes, I want to see what happens, but I'm not wringing my hands. Like I said, we didn't lose anybody that was a backbreaker to me, and most of them were not surprises. And like Julian Fleming, like I would want him to stay to be a blocker, but at the same time, Cornell Tate already took reps from him. He's gonna start. He might get off and have a Marvin Harrison type of bowl game. Ennis, Jeremiah Smith coming in. Don't forget about Noah Rogers. We got younger guys who are more talented with a higher ceiling, and that's not a knock on Julian. He did great while he was here in his role, but that's just what it is, man. I'm not moved by it. I'm quite confident we're going to be just fine. Like, there's no evidence that we're not. Rob Spangler, I'm going to start calling you the carpenter. I like that. I might have to make myself a meme. Be like, I don't know, banging a nail in the wall or something. I don't know. Let me see. When playoff teams get eliminated, watch the numbers of portal players show up. Exactly. That's a great point, Jeff. Exactly. And people don't want to recognize that either. You know what I mean? Tommy Vickers, what up? What up? Appreciate you. Terry, are you asking who Cam Ward is? He's the quarterback from Washington State. Really good talent, athletic. He's not a Stroud thrower, but he can place that ball. Like, he's a playmaker, and he can make some throws. So go check him out. Let me see. I appreciate all the comments, man. I appreciate all the comments. We were spoiled with CJ and Justin. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. And anybody who's followed me, y'all know, man, I let people have it. While CJ was here, the ridiculousness, the over-the-topness, like, y'all gonna miss that boy when he gone. Now look what happening. All right. Exactly. Thank you, Matthew. I was about to call you Matthew McConaughey because I just read the screen real quick. Matthew McCullough. Yes. Graham is a dog. Thank you. I forgot to mention him. Dog, 5-star. Speed, gets out of cuts like lightning quick. We are loaded at wide receiver. So Julian saw the – listen, here's the other thing, y'all. The coaches sit down with the players and the parents at the end of the season. Like, every staff does this. And they have discussions about what makes the most sense for both parties. And there's a depth chart discussion. We love you, Julian, but we're projecting to play these players. Like, this is what we're looking at next year. This is the direction we're going in. Sure, you could stay, but the chances of you getting, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's discussions that are actually had. All right. Let's see. Yep. And I'm interested about Hicks Terrence. If Eichenberg is leaving, is he gonna play? I'm really interested to see who plays in the game as well. By the way, I don't think Marv is staying, y'all. I think Marv, think about it, y'all. Even CJ last year, I don't think CJ was just playing around. I think he actually was thinking about coming back, because you have to understand the emotional pull of not meeting your goals. And Marv not getting those gold pants and going to Indy, I mean, that's really messing with him, and I feel him. And he's been blessed to be with money all his life. Excuse me. This is not a money issue. You know what I mean? Like, he's got bread. He's been had bread. He ain't hard up for none of that. But his goals weren't met. And he's a worker, a hard worker. So I get it. I think he's gone. I think he's leaving. But I understand the pause. Jeremiah McClellan. Yes, even though I've heard he's still been flirting with them West Coast schools, man. But we'll see. Yeah, man, we got some dogs at receiver, man. Like, people forget, yes, we're losing. We lost a lot of depth. We mainly lost depth in the portal. We have to replace that depth with guys, up and coming guys. Because here's the thing, y'all. There are guys at lower level schools who have developed at a slower pace. They were a 3-star in high school, but now they're playing like a high 4-star. And now with the transfer portal, they can go to those bigger schools that they missed out on because of their development not being where it needed to be when they were being recruited. Those guys, we can bring them in. And other D1 guys who are just already high level, who want to be on a platform that Ohio State provides, and to be able to challenge to win championships. So I think people are so focused on the beginning of the process, which is losing guys, and not realizing the excitement of who we're going to get. So yeah, keep that in mind. I think Ryan Day has more dog in him than people think. I think he's brutally honest when he needs to be, and he's willing to make changes. He's only been head coach for 5 years. He's learning just like the kids are. Yeah, he is. And he absolutely is fiery. He's passionate. And we've seen little bits and pieces of that. And, it's been tough, man, with these scum losses. Also, let me talk about this real quick. Listen, for you TCUN fans out there listening, and just Buckeye fans, listen. I knew after this game, win or lose, this whole scandal thing was going to go in one direction or the other. Scum fans predictably want to take the position that everything is all good now since they won the game. And after all, that means they haven't been cheating. Listen, man, this has not magically gone away. The NCAA still has the same facts they had a month ago. They still have the same information. They still have investigators investigating. All that stuff didn't poof go away because you won the game on the field. You can think that all you want, but that's not what's happening. I tell you what's also happening is that at the end of the day, nothing is bigger than these TV contracts and the money that comes from them, and the millions of dollars, excuse me, even billions of dollars being made from the product on the field for these TV contracts. So the pause on the onslaught of media coverage and leaks and stuff like that is not surprising to me, because with the Big Ten title, with the Ohio State scum game, which you see that number, you see those ratings, we're not surprised by it. I'm just reminding y'all how big this is. This is why the TV contracts and these people are like, okay, let's pump the brakes on this bad press to make sure that our product gets the most that it needs to get for our investment. And that's just life. That's just reality. Like, that's we know this. So, and that goes with the playoffs as well. Now, Scum is going to lose to Bama. Once they lose to Bama, because that's a bad matchup. Y'all see how they groaned in that room when they heard they was playing Bama and not Florida State. Once they lose to Bama, then boom, you're going to start seeing things open back up again. But we're going to have to deal with them talking. That's what happens when you lose on the field. But they're delusional, per usual, if they think that this is just going away and there's nothing else coming out of pipe. Sorry, it is. But anyway, what do you make of the rumors about McCord's dad calling Coach Dave frequently? I don't know. I don't know, man. I really don't know, Jennifer, to be honest with you. Um, who knows? I mean, I'm sure the parents talk to the coaches. I don't know how helicopter parenty he is. I don't know. You know what I mean? I pray to lose to Bama. Listen, look, they're losing to Bama. If they somehow did beat them, go check for Connor Stout. They've had trouble with running quarterbacks for so long. I don't think, and it's just about matchups. They're not at home. You know what I mean? Bama is playing way better now than they were earlier in the year. They're a much better team. Saban is out for blood. They got athletes. They got a good defense. Their offensive line been mauling. So I just don't see it. I don't see it. That's not me hating. I just don't think it's a good matchup for them at all. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap this in a few minutes, man, because I don't want to go too long. I could talk to y'all for forever. Rusty, what's up, brother? Rusty's a good dude, man. Been knowing this dude for years, man. Great dude. I think Marvin cares a lot about his legacy. I don't know if he can live with himself if he never beats TCUN and wins Big Ten title. Ohio State. I can obviously see him leaving, but I think he comes back. Okay, especially if he likes the new direction at QB. Listen, I hope you're right, bro. I hope you're right, Rusty. I hope you're right, but I don't know. I can't see it right now, but I hope you're right. Yeah, Bama's QB, he's that's what I'm saying. I think he especially is going to give them problems. I think that's really the X factor of that matchup. And they just don't have enough playmakers. They don't have enough playmakers, and they're not at home. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Yep, the transfer portal is a new norm. Exactly. And we have to get used to it. We're still trying to wrap our brains around the transfer portal. Like, years ago when guys would get beat out, they would work hard in the offseason and come back and take that spot. That's not going to happen as much anymore. And the thing is, I'm not even going to get into the habit or be tempted to call players soft or not want to compete. Maybe that's the case in some ways, but at this point, there's money to be made and there's business decisions within the new system we have. So it's hard for me to just fault a kid and his parents for taking advantage of something that they see that may feel like is a better situation for them financially and for their future. I'm trying to think practically and not just as a fan, because as fans, we get emotional and we fire off based off of our needs and our wants. And that's selfish and it's really myopic. So I get it, but at the same time, that's not really real life. So we have to adjust to that. Yeah, I mean, I can't get to everything. But yeah, the portal, I'm gonna check back in with y'all soon. But this portal, be patient, y'all. Be patient. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, y'all. And we got to get this right, especially at the QB position. Is Day going to look at Devin and Lincoln during bowl prep and then maybe even a couple weeks and see how they perform in the field and go from there? I don't know. Is he going to bring somebody in before? Don't know. We just got to be patient and understand our track record. This school, this institution is not going to go away quietly. They're going to want to remain on the top. They're going to do everything they can. Like someone said, Day's going to fire. He's going to do whatever. I heard JT Barrett is a candidate to come in and replace Corey Dennis if he moves on, like we're hearing. Parker Fleming at some point will be moving on, is what the word is. We'll see. James Laurinaitis promoted so he can recruit and be a full-time coach and not just a GA. We'll see. Things are coming down the pike. But again, this program is not a program, despite your frustration, to sit back and not do anything and basically by default bounce themselves out of contention. Nah, we're going to be a top 5 program once again next year, and we'll be in the playoffs, in the 12-team playoff next year, competing. We just got to see what happens between now and then as far as what we acquire, what we do, all that. But I'm not concerned about it at all. So, yeah, all right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap, man, let y'all got one more thing. I'll jump on one more thing possibly. Yes, Jason Hamilton, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Terry. Yeah, I appreciate you as well. And, yeah, I'll be rooting for Marv. Yes, real quick. I unfortunately don't think Marv is going to win. I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is going to win. But Marv being there at the Heisman ceremony, again, just is beautiful for Ohio State's program, for that receiver room, for the Jeremiah Smiths, all of that, man. Like, I'm never going to take that for granted because it's free publicity. You know what I mean? Like, it's a wonderful thing. And I'm so happy he won a Biletnikoff, man. He deserved it. It's not just about stats, y'all. I know these other regions and Southern folk is crying, LSU, all that stuff. Marvin Harrison, turn the tape on. I watch all the games. Well, you just watch Ohio State? No, I watch all of college football. I've watched LSU. He's a really good player. Neighbors, really good player. The kid out in Washington, great player. They're all deserving. You know what I mean? But Marvin Harrison Jr., come on, man. The dude is an animal. Like, he's the best overall receiver to me and against better competition. But anyway. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap. We got about 45 minutes. But, yeah, get at me. I'll be getting back with you. And go Bucks as always. Peace.
1, 2, 3, 4.